Hey everyone, Mitchell Venus here with you for another video, all right? How y'all doing? Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here with me once again, for giving me this credit. We're here with our project, on anatomy and costume design, which is the goal of the channel. This is the channel's niche. So any questions you have, anything, any tips, please put them here, comment, share, like the video. But try to make comments, ask the questions, that you want. In reality, the inquiries within this channel's niche, okay? Which is anatomy and costume design. Okay, which is the specialty. It's where the channel is headed, okay? Give me some feedback here on what you're thinking and let's go. Complete our character here, make the one more element of the costume. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so here everything is done using references, folks. Let's draw the cape here coming out from that strip I mentioned to you, the one I made on the shirt, okay? Here, it's just a sequence of straight lines. The cape is something that's really annoying for me to draw, especially when the drawing is very large. So you can see that I'm doing it on a small drawing and then I enlarge it later, okay? I make the base here with an ellipse, as if the cape were right there where the fabric will naturally fall. Here we have a lot of folds. The cape, as you'll see at the end, has two colors. Inside it's white and on the outside it's purple. So you really have to be extremely mindful and cautious with exactly how you arrange and structure these folds. With all of these small gathers here that you can see, where you have these little waves forming the zigzag pattern, right? Which is formed because of the fold inside the cape, so that it remains securely in place. Because when you go to paint it, when you start filling it in with color, you'll understand what I'm saying. You'll see that sometimes the sample of the color of the zigzag and everything. So it's good for you to pay close attention and make this zigzag of folds similar. Okay, that's what I call it. I don't know. I can't find another word to define it, all right? So here you're going to make that drape of the cape, right? There it comes off the shoulder and then it covers a bit of the forearm. Since his hands are on his waist, you can leave it a bit more open, this cape more open, okay? This crease of the cape falling to the ground, this drape of the fabric. Guys, all of this is based on reference, okay? You can't do anything without a reference. You have to have a reference because these creases are very characteristic, right? Always pay attention to the fabric you want to convey here, my fabric. It is not really like those traditional royal capes worn by kings, where you have that thick layer of white fur lined on the inside. That soft and delicate fuzz. That fur inside the cape is not there. It's something simpler, a slightly thinner cape, but still, it has a bit of volume. It's a little bit thick. It's a thick fabric, right? I'm not sure if it's actually velvet. I can't really picture it as being that thick, but I think you can really get a clear idea like that. You see, there are specific things you do, certain types of folds and certain kinds of creases that actually work in much the same way for many different fabrics, It is quite a consistent process. So you will definitely start to notice this more clearly once you begin drawing regularly and when you get a lot of consistent practice. And as you take the time to closely examine the intricate texture of various fabrics a lot, you will eventually develop a deep familiarity with them and you will naturally start making the necessary folds yourself. Because I'm using a specific reference here for guidance, but I am certainly not copying it exactly as it appears. Some things I am intentionally changing, some of the little folds I am modifying, and some of the creases I also choose to change, and so on. So right here in this area, I am already making the crease as well to add more realism to the final piece. On the other side, I did the same thing. I do the same thing that I do with the hand like this. Since they are hands, since they are identical sides, in reality, they are mirrored sides. I simply do one on top of the other, so it's easier for me to create a composition to make the volumes look similar to each other. So I do one on top of the other and then I mirror it, So that's more or less what I do. Okay? So here we keep making these creases here. Another thing, just like I mentioned about the pants and the belt, try not to stick the lines too close together, especially when they are parallel lines, one next to the other, okay? When you look at it, it kind of makes you uneasy, it feels uncomfortable, it looks like a mistake. Actually, it is a mistake, right? So in a photo that might look good, even in a realistic painting, but since we have lines here, it's not just color, it's an illustration where the lines matter. I'm not going to erase these lines you're seeing, I'm going to finish it and leave it with the lines. So the lines can't be stuck together, okay? They can even be very close together, but they can't be touching. So you need to know how to solve this, okay? The work of the illustrator, they have to know this. They need to know how to handle the lines. They need to know how to handle the composition, okay? They truly need to possess that deep inner feeling, that sharp natural instinct, and that refined technical skill to successfully solve it. To, how do you say it? To take what's real and translate it into a drawing, you know? You need to have that feeling, and you only achieve it with practice, so don't stop drawing, okay? No one is born knowing anything. You only get good if you practice. So I want to encourage you to practice, okay? This isn't my first drawing. I have many. I used to make, well, since I started, I have over 20 years of professional experience and over 40 years drawing, basically since I was a child. Well, so it's all about practice, okay? You see, this here is all copied too. Okay, I am currently looking at a reference image so I can better understand exactly how this specific fold works. I want to see how this crease is formed and how it emerges from the inside of this paper strip as I manipulate it. Let's say it's basically a collar, right? So all of this here is all based on reference, you see? It's all interpretation. So you come here. I've done several covers, you know, folks. This here wasn't done on the first try. Nothing here was done on the first try. You don't just do things and, oh, get it right the first time. Sometimes it happens. I'm not going to say it never happens, but you keep trying, you keep making it, then you make one and you see the drape didn't turn out well, so you make another. And that's how it is, folks. It's a work of refinement. It's a work of patience. This is art, okay? This is art. Unless you're turning your art into a business, like I've often done, and sometimes we have deadlines and sometimes things don't turn out quite the way we want, but that's not the case here. So be as meticulous as possible. Don't rush, right? Take your time to polish your work. Okay, here I'm already going over it with a line to define it better. Remember, I told you that I like to make the first layout small, depending on the situation, right? For what I'm doing here, the cover, I like to make it small. You'll see that with the dresses too, when I draw the princesses and all that. I like to make it small at first because with a lot of big lines, and really, as I told you, my peripheral vision, it's not good, you know? So I need to make things small first, and then later I enlarge them, you know, to make them bigger. And even when I keep them small like this, I put them on my phone, I do the drawing, and then I put it on my phone. So I can have a better view because my vision is better with the object when it's small. If it's too big, I just don't have that kind of vision. You see, everyone has their flaws, and this is mine. This is my difficulty. So that's why I draw a lot in Photoshop. It's been a long time since I've done it on paper, but if you want, we can draw on paper too. Okay, my friends? We can draw, we can do it here on paper. Let's see if we can do a lot of things on paper too. It's just that Honestly, your uncle's eyesight is already compromised, but we're staying strong and steady. And here we're going to define things. The brush is also very important. In moments like these, you really need to select a brush that is specifically designed to give you all those subtle nuances, those subtle lines, the line work. It doesn't end in a rough or abrupt way. Okay, you let it fade out, disappearing. That depends a lot on the brush too. I like this brush, it gives a nice texture. If you want, I can share it here. I'll share it with you, put it in the description, okay? And there we have our cover. A beautiful cover, by the way, right, folks? A beautiful cloak, fit for royalty. That's it, folks. We finished another video there of our character. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you have. I hope it was helpful for you. This is our project. So we have these layouts. Then we're going to move on to the clean drawing, right? We're going to clean it up, clean up the character. But you see that just in the layout, just on the sketch, it's already a lot of work. I hope you're enjoying it. So comment here, like, and share as well. Give your opinion in a respectful way. Ask your questions here. And let's build this channel together. These are still the channel's first videos. A lot of stuff is coming, God willing. And let's build it here together, all right? Folks, a big hug. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.